Okay, but of late, there are some statesmen, there have been some allegations that INEC is working hand in hand with the APC-led government to weaken states controlled by the independent and by the PDP. Is there any truth in this allegation?
Well, there's a country where it's so easy, making allegations as easy as drinking a cup of glass of water. It will be good if they bring facts or supporting evidence, corroborative evidence to corroborate these assertions. And there's no such truth in the matter. Basically, by obeying a court order, rightly or wrongly, whether that court order is right or wrong, we've obeyed a court order. Now, these people were aware there was a court order. They took no steps to ensure that the order was vacated. They took no steps until it was too late. They expected so much from INEC. Now INEC obeys the order. You now say INEC is guilty of collaboration with the party in government. Now, again, we love your response. The politicians who came earlier blamed everything on INEC. Now, if you did not go to court, this order of court would not have come in the first place. And when an order that was adverse to your interest came, what did you do? You did nothing. Now you sit down and you blame INEC, you blame the judiciary, but you did nothing. First of all, you go to the judiciary because there are aggrieved persons within your party in the first place. They both deny there's a factual. Who feels there's factual lies? They both deny that. But these things were there. That's why they subjected themselves to the judiciary. And then it's not the ideal that the courts should be the ones choosing for political parties who should be their candidates. But when they cannot get their house in order, then other people like the judiciary who have a constitutional responsibility will not have to do that, regrettably.
All right, Mr. Keji, there's also been some calls by different people for Mr. President, for the President to step in, to wade in and resolve this matter as it stands. Not being a member of the PDP, is that his prerogative?
No, it's not. It's an aberration. To call on the President to step in is merely, in my view, it's not proper. The President shouldn't have a say in the entire events. But it would be uncalled for of me if I fail to respond to what the INEC spokesperson has said in terms of obedience to court order.
Voter education.
Yes, INEC Director of Voter Education is saying what he's paid to do. I am not being paid to say what I'm saying. I'm not a member of the PDP and I am not a member of the APC. I am saying it as a lawyer. He is saying it on behalf of INEC. You don't expect him to come on air to say, yes, INEC was wrong in what INEC has done. INEC should be blamed. The basic principle of law is clear. If you want to obey court order, okay, if there are 5 court orders in 5 days successively, that means as one comes today, you obey that one. The next day, you obey the second one. The third day, you obey the third one. The fourth day, you obey the fourth one. And you keep obeying court orders that way. Did they ever obey the Akure State High Court and the Ondo State High Court decision? There was no reportage that they obeyed that order at all. So definitely INEC was waiting and ready to obey the judgment or ruling of Justice Okonaban, in spite of the fact that there was still a standing right of appeal. And what we have read in the papers is that the Jagede faction, when they were refused right of hearing before Justice Aban, which is an aberration anyway, they made it known clearly that they were going on appeal, and they filed their appeal. The principle in Ojukwu and military governor of Lagos State, I repeat it, is clear. Parties should not act in such a way as to foist helplessness on a court. And that is what they have done on the court of appeal. Why the hurry? Now, again, by section 86 of the Electoral Act, INEC is bound to monitor political parties. What they monitored of the Akure primaries of the PDP, what is inside? What was the result of the monitoring? They are under compulsion to publish that monitor, and he has confessed that indeed INEC monitored that of Jagede, and it was that of Jagede that INEC recognized. Having said that, again, if you go to section 87, subsection 4B1, that is the amended copy of the Electoral Act, you'll find out that the principle is clear that you will have to conduct your primaries in the state capital. Now, that is a question that you should ask some of these people who are claiming that INEC is acting properly. Assuming without considering that what happened in Ibadan was proper and correct, shouldn't you have given the other party the benefit of doubt by also obeying an order that is to their benefit, which is from the 2 courts, High Court, and 2 courts in Ondo State? So it is clear that INEC is ready to obey a particular kind of court order that suits their fancy.
All right. Before we go back to Abuja, the issue is before the Court of Appeal now.
Yes.
How do we see some of these issues playing out as a lawyer?
Yes, I think there are still, after the Court of Appeal, there is still the Supreme Court to go. In my view, I think parties should just stay action and give a few days for the Supreme Court to give its decision. And that is why I question INEC, knowing fully well that there is no way all the factions will not explore the higher court. They ought to have maintained status quo and asked a question. Are you going on appeal? Assuming without considering that they were not in the know as to the fact that Jegede faction had gone on appeal. They ought to find out first and foremost whether they are going on appeal. And so they maintain status quo.
Okay, just a moment, Mr. Ikechukwu.
Yes.
Mr. Keji. Mr. Uzi, is there a possibility that INEC would even consider postponing or shifting the Ondo elections due to this crisis rocking the PDP, this candidacy crisis?
You cannot, because of domestic issues in the political party, postpone an election. That is not a ground for postponement of an election. The grounds for postponement of elections are natural disasters, or where there's a likelihood to be serious likelihood threat of breakdown of law and order. We cannot, because of crisis in one party. Everybody seems to lose sight of the fact that even the APC, there's a case in court over the APC candidature. Do we say we have to wait for the APC to resolve their own crisis as well? No, we'll not do that because of one party or the other. Secondly, Mr. Keji doesn't realize, for example, that Tayo Jegede has not appealed against the judgment or the ruling of the court. It's good to know the facts of a case before commenting on those cases. What they have is an application to to appeal against the application, seeking leave to appeal against that judgment. Now, what he's suggesting is that we should wait till the Supreme Court decides, or we should wait till we find out whether a party is going to appeal or not. No, we can't wait for that. In any case, the Constitution has spelled out time limits, the time frame within which we must conduct that election. I don't know whether the Supreme Court can hear. First of all, the case is not even fully, the Supreme Court of Appeal is not fully stated on this case. We can't wait for the Supreme Court to decide. It might be outside of that time constitutionally limited for the conduct of this election. Now, we cannot disobey the constitution of the land.
All
and
right.
But Mr. Kelly doesn't seem to realize that there is actually no stay of execution.
All right, we need to take a break now. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Please stay.